Hey everybody, Damo here, Charter Connection Fishing Charters and the Good Vessel Diversity out of Gulf Harbour Marina. Bringing you another Tacklet Marine fishing report and update for the Hauraki Gulf. Today is the last day of summer, or the first day of autumn, or whatever you want to call it. So the seasons are changing, but you wouldn't know it just being out in the Gulf there. It's been very, very warm. We've sort of got 28 degrees most days. We've got a little bit of breeze. We've had no rain for a long, long time, and this is keeping things very, very warm. However, the bait schools, especially the pilchards, are increasing, and a lot more bird action and a lot more mammal activity are coming from the middle ground in the Gulf. By the middle ground, I mean sort of Anchorite, Waiheke down that line there, and Tiri Anchorite, Kawa Anchorite, those sort of areas there out in the middle of the Gulf. So very, very good fishing in the workups. Some very nice snapper coming from those, and a lot of people reporting pretty good action even away from the workups. And quite often we don't always find the workups during the day, and some of the things that we do to get us onto the snapper at this time of year when there aren't workups is long drifts. Now, when you've got breeze like we have, you can't really see it from where I am, but where you've got breeze like we have today, this evening we've got about 15 to 20 knots in the Gulf just coming out of the southwest there, and it can make for quite a fast drift in a small boat. And a bigger boat like Diversity, which is 30 tonne and nearly 6 metres wide and 14 metres long, it's a bit of a cube, and she has good presence in the water, so the drift rate's quite slow. We'll actually watch boats drift straight past us, almost double the speed of the drift, even faster, double the speed of the drift in about 20 knots. So we have the advantage there. But what we do is we fish with a single hook ledger rig with about 8 ounces of lead in about 20 knots of breeze. That's about the right sort of weight. It's also about the right sort of rig too this time of year. The fish that are there on the drift and hard on the bottom, away from a workup, so away from workups, what I'm talking about here, they'll come in, they'll take one snatch and they'll be gone. So we tend to use a bait which is about half the size of your thumb, half a pilly if you like, being that I have the thumb the size of a pilly. And that works pretty good. Also, the Californian squid, the Loligo squid, is also one of our favourite baits as well. Now, we tend to buy these, our bait at Top Catch. In fact, we tend to buy all our tackle at Top Catch because it's pretty good. Some of the other places we shop are Yeehaw, and if I'm up north, I always stop in at Saltwater Connection and see Rob and George up there. They're on Port Road, Whangarei, by the way. Very good tackle shop, and lots of good deals at all these places. Incidentally, this I think is pen month coming up for Top Catch next month, so keep an eye out there. Our little bird tells me that there's some good stuff happening. In fact, I may do the next report from in-store at Top Catch to at our local one here at Whangaproa to show you some of the cool deals. I'm going to show you how to tie a ledge rig. Okay, so for snapper fishing, I really like the Black Magic supple trace. The reason I like the supple over the hard trace is that I find that when you get a little nick or an abrasion in the supple trace, it still retains some of its strength. With the hard trace, what I find is that if it gets a bit of a nick, it tends to crack all the way through, being that it's not so supple. In saying that, you can see here it's still quite a stiff sort of trace, even in the supple range, and I'm using 60-pound supple Black Magic here. It's about 20 bucks a spool and lasts quite some time. So very simply, what I do is I always put the loop for the sinker on first, and in charter work we tend to use a loop. The reason being is that we can quickly change weight from, say, an 8-ounce hex bomb, which is bog standard for us, 8 and 6 ounce hex. We can quickly drop a 4 or a 2 on top of that just to give us a little bit more hold on the bottom, especially in rougher conditions, say 25 knots, or if it's really screaming and we're fishing something like the Colville Channel and you've got some tide and a lot of wind and some lift, you may need to go to sort of 8 plus 10, 12 even, and in some days even more, but that gets a bit extreme for snapper fishing. So it's almost like the West Coast. Now, so what I like to do is I like to put a loop on the bottom, and very simply what I do for a loop is I do a spider hitch. These are very simple. I'll get it nice and close so you can see what's going on. Basically double the line over, make a loop in the line, and poke your tail end through, or your loop through 3 times. Very simple. You can go 5 if you like, but I don't think there's much advantage going over 5 than there is 3. That gives you your loop on the bottom, in which I can just drop my 8-ounce sinker straight on, plop him over the top, and he's all ready to go like that. Now I tend to come up off the bottom about 2 feet. Now that's sort of 600 mil if you like, and to do that, the reason being is that when we're on the drift, now some guys like it close to the bottom, some guys like it further away. I don't think it makes a lot of difference if you've got quite a long dropper. However, when we're on the drift, your line angle may be like this, especially if you're in about 20-25 knots of breeze. So up here, this bait hanging down on a dropper of about, and I'll show you the length of the dropper I'm going to use, you'll see why. It keeps the bait fairly close to the bottom. So we'll just go ahead and tie a dropper in. To do that, we again create a loop. I like to put that in my teeth. And then it's just a matter of folding the loop over on itself. Just rolling it around. I'll just get a little closer there so you can see. I'm just rolling the loop around on itself over the main line. Once you've done about sort of 6 or 7 good twists, I tend to poke my dropper loop back through the hole and just give it a little pull up, and that gives you your dropper loop there. You can see, very simple. Now the length of the dropper can make a bit of a difference. I tend to keep mine quite short, and I know Chris, our other skipper, he likes them a little bit longer. It doesn't make a lot of difference, to be honest. The thing that does make a lot of difference is this. It's how you put the hook on. I'm using 6-bar-0. You must put the hook on so that it faces back inside towards the main line, so that when it hangs down, the hook's actually hanging back towards the trace. Now some people say, oh, but the fish are going to miss it, they're going to come along and miss it. But what actually happens is this actually spring loads the hook. See how that's working there? So that's actually going to work in your favour and increase your hookup rate. If you come in from the other side, it doesn't spring load. I'll just take it off, spin it back around for you. And I see this all the time. See, it's not spring loaded. It's not able to roll the hook at all. So keep that in mind. You want to have it facing back towards the main line. I'll just put it on the correct way just for the purpose of the example. And this will increase your bite, especially on a slow day if the fish are just sort of nibbling around the edge of bait or something like that. So that's how it's got to be. Okay, you can make this dropper quite a bit longer. In this situation here, you can see, or you may not be able to see, but over here the sinker's on the bottom and that hook is only just off the bottom. So in this situation, it's still going to catch fish. You don't want it much shorter than that. Longer could be fine. I tend to make sure that the hook is just off the bottom if I can. So that's a little handy hip for you. Handy hip for you. That's a handy little tip for you. And some of the other things that are working out there at the moment, of course, is the jitterbugs, the bottom ship jigs, soft baits, especially the gulp and the new penny and amber seem to be working very well, and also watermelon has been good again this week. Now whether that's just because they were our go-to baits last week, I don't know, but we've been putting them on and we've been getting sort of between 60 and 90 snapper a day, and about 25 to 50 snapper on an evening, so it's relatively good fishing at the moment. The conditions are great, the weather's been nice, the sea's been calm, there hasn't been a lot of wind, and there's a little bit of swell out there at the moment too, and that's coming with the moon because of the low off the east coast here at the moment. Not so flash up north around Tutakaka and further up, it's a bit rolly up there, but down here in the Gulf we're relatively sheltered, and that little bit of swell actually helps stir over the worm beds, expose a little bit of shellfish, and in closer in the evenings certainly exposes a bit of bait. So get out there and enjoy that. Things that are coming up is some pretty cool stuff at Top Catch this month for Pen Week, as I mentioned. They've also got some good specials on bait and stuff in there at the moment. Make sure you go to www.tackle-it.co.nz and get your free sample of Tackle It. You can also purchase all our products online, including our domestic range, so safe for mum and the kids, safe for all your benches and stuff at home as well, and very competitively priced for a completely natural, non-toxic product. Big seller for us has been, over this summer, has been the Eco Boat Wash, 5 litres of odour eliminating suds that will clean and shine your precious investment, your watercraft, and also take away the odour. Very powerful product, and you get about 50 washes, 60 washes even, depending on the strength of the solution that you mix up, out of a $20 5 litre. So again, very good price. It can be used for washing houses, cars, trucks, boats, planes, bodies if you like, because it's completely safe. Also, make sure you go to charterconnection.co.nz, catch us up on Facebook, Diversity-Fishing, and make sure that you support Legacy at legacy.co.nz. They are out there, they are fighting for us, they're fighting for you, they're fighting for me, to make sure that we have more fish in the water for our future generations and that we have cleaner oceans. And you can't go past that as a good cause. $20 measly, couple of coffees, get into it. This is Damo, Charter Connection Fishing Charters, www.tackleit.co. Thanks to them for bringing you this report. And stay safe out there. Watch out for those sharks and all that media scaremongering that they're up to.